Oh, there's just so much you can do with storytelling. You can tell any story, any piece of humanity, any piece of history or a made-up story. It's just an incredible amount of things that you can tell and use emotions and teach people new things with. It's amazing. I was actually really similar to Bernie. I thought my dream job, my career path should be an actress. And I thought that's where I needed to go before I realized that I was actually really good at costume design. I was really good as an artist, and I loved the costumes, and that was where I needed to be. Pivotal. The biggest job, I think, in most productions, because it brings it all together. Without it, it doesn't quite finish. And so the costume designer's job is a lot of research and understanding historical timelines and color theory and how psychology affects people's brains, how we view colors and textures and shapes and things like that. So it's a lot of research and understanding how things are portrayed on a body. My favorite thing about costume design is the endless amount of things I can do with it. You could do something realistic or stylistic, and it's always imaginative, and there's always something new to do. Never runs out of ideas. The hardest thing for me is when I'm designing a show and I accidentally find like images from a past production, and then my ideas are influenced by how beautiful those were. So whenever I design, I try to think of my own designs first before I look at any other influences. I've learned how different film is from theater. It's a lot of we're able to stop and go, and so it's not as live as theater, and so costuming can kind of change with that. I can stop them and pause them and fix it how I want, but also you have to keep it really continuous, and so that's harder than theater. So. I really love designing Colleen. She had a really fun, preppy, colorful vibe to her while also being just kind of mean and rude, and I thought it fit her really well. Oh, with color and with the shapes of things, and I feel like no story is complete without the right clothing, and clothing tells a million words, and so that's my favorite thing about this storytelling with costumes. The first show I ever costume designed was probably Descendants. I worked as the assistant designer at the Hale Center Theater in Orem, and then just recently Frozen as well. So as an assistant, not as a full designer, but I did a lot of work on those shows, and it was really, really fun to do. I read the script multiple times to really understand what they're trying to see, and then I start really simple with really simple lines and things, just trying to get the outline of the character, what the shape of the costume should look like, and then I start kind of fleshing it out, drawing some more details, really figuring out how the fabric should lay, adding accessories and things, and then of course the final step is adding all of the color. So Isla, to me, was in the script, she was portrayed as very warm, and they wanted her to be seen as this very independent, powerful woman character that maybe wasn't seen like that before in other past designs of this show. And so I was really focused on creating a new shape for her that maybe wouldn't have been done in the past, where it was maybe slimmer lines and colder colors, and so I really wanted to create fuller skirts and really warm colors, and it was mentioned a lot in the script about how they bustled up skirts so that she could climb mountains or cut a slit in it or something. So I worked hard to find ways to do that, to work with the way that they wanted the costume to move on stage. Yeah. So this was one of the first original ones I did of her, and I really just loved how everything started falling, and everything was just so soft, and large, and I really loved that it just portrayed this soft female character that was also strong. And then later on, when she started becoming stronger, she's got this little slit in her skirt. That was really fun. You can see more of maybe a weapon that she has. And then adding of the color, of course, is my favorite part. So adding those warm colors. They talk a lot in the script about how they might use lighting to make those costumes as color, and so it was fun to figure out how the certain colors would work under the lighting if this was to actually be produced and things. So I think that was the funnest part, was figuring out finally, after all of those sketches, what colors she would actually be in.